Should you weigh your food or weigh your calories when bulking? Today we're gonna discuss about this topic. The pros and cons of not counting your calories and pros and cons of counting your calories. So let's start with not counting your calories. For me personally, I don't track my calories. And I managed to bulk from weighing 47 kilo to 60 right now. 61, 62-ish. Without tracking. Not in a sense of without paying attention to my food. What I mean is, the calculus level, weighing your food, my fitness pal and everything, and logging your food. I don't do that. I just progressively, do it intuitively in a sense. Like I will eat a plate and I try to get one more plate done and another if possible. That's how I do it. Or add an extra meal, add snacking really does help for me. So the pros for this is less mental, what is the words, energy being used in a sense. So you don't have to worry about when you're about to eat, you have to weigh everything. So it's just intuition. Neanderthal mode, go eat a ton and then go, you know, go do your thing, like ooga booga type of approach. Well, it can work. To some, for me, for example, and I did manage to make some progress, but there's still some part of it in the back of my mind. Did I really eat enough today, or was I sandbagging, or I wasn't pushing? So there's that. Pros, you get to eat intuitively without worrying too much about the tracking and all, which means if you have a past experience of personal eating in disorder of obsessively thinking about stuff, like for example if you have OCD or I don't know what mental or eating disorder many people have. But if you're more on the neurotic, super neurotic stuff, like you want to calculate every bit of even the smallest bit, then you should probably stick to this, because if you're that type of person, it can be good for you. You're not gonna be emotionally attached to the scale, which means you're gonna be more at peace, your mental space. But at the same time, it's for the people who want to be really sure that they're eating, they want more of security. Then it's really not for them. But if you're super neurotic and you have some experience in the past where it was a bit too much tracking for you, then you should stick to this. Add an extra meal, extra snack, another plate, bigger, increase the portion slightly every time. So there's that Neanderthal approach to bulking. You you know less brain points in a sense. Excuse me. Less brain points for, which means you can focus on life, focus on your studies, on your business, right? Less time also when you're gonna be tracking your calories. You're gonna spend time. It isn't that much, but when you're really angry, man, I wanna eat this, but I got to track my food, right? So there's that. Cons is, there's a back in the back of your mind. You're probably gonna be slightly unsure if you're hitting it right. But yes, that's the cons. Which is why in the future I'm gonna buy a food scale to experiment which is the best for me. I did do or try to track my food in a food scale a few years ago, or recent years, in 2023. but I wasn't consistent at it because it broke. I wasn't really putting it attention into it. I was just tracking my rice, right? Your carbs only. So there's that. I'm gonna experiment soon. So I think the pros for counting your calories or cal calculus calculus level approach to this bulk is, yeah, the certainty that you're not eating too much, in the sense of you're eating enough. That's that for some people that might be important, but for me you cannot really track the exact amount of food or calories you're eating. There's just too many factors in that. For example, there's days where you walk a bit more and your food was exactly the same, calorie surplus, but right, you walk a bit more, an extra 2 to 3,000, so you burn like 100 to 200 extra calories. Like there's that, the food, also the food labels. The pros are, yes, you will be certain. This is for the people who are like really really serious. So they are those who are like the nerdy type of people who are into the numbers, mathematical. They excel at math, probably, and you know you want statistics. Statistics is important to them. They don't get attached to it. They don't get obsessively anxious about calories. They know what to do, right? Then it's for you if you are like that. The cause is, risk of eating disorder, or like tracking in a restaurants. I don't get the people who do that. I know it's their dedication to the craft, to the lifting, to bulking, to cutting. But personally, for me, you can have, if you're, I don't know, in a restaurant and you're not really competing, or just eat the food, don't track it like stripping the bones in. Just enjoy it with your family. That's why you're doing this, right? You're doing this disciplined lifestyle, eating, setting the intention to eat right at home when you're alone, and to get to have that, I don't know, what is the word, freedom, or guilt free from eating out, because you're not gonna be eating out if you're into this. If you're serious about it, you're not gonna be eating out a lot, because you cannot really control the food in the restaurants. There's that. It might pros, you can be certain, sure that you're bulking, in a sense. You have the security. The cons is, you might be at risk for some eating disorder. You must be careful with that. Don't get too emotionally attached. There's a lot of factors that are gonna be affecting your calorie intake for the day. For example, for the people who are losing fats or losing weight, they tend to get, since they want to lose weight so bad, they tend to focus on the scale too much. So it messes up their mind, in a sense, or mental health when they do that. For some people, that's the case. They get neurotic. They overthink a lot. So if you don't overthink a lot, you're really like a stone sigma, calculated, person. Then you should count your calories, weigh your food if you want that. But it's usually based on your personality. If you're more the nerdy logistics type guy, then go count your calories. If you're the Neanderthal, um, in and out, let's get this done type of person, the let's go type of personality, then you should probably be not tracking, going with the add an extra meal a day, 5 times a day, 6 times. So there's that. Snacks, right? Especially in bulk, in also lifting too. You can train based on your personality style or on your current lifestyle. For example, if you want to save more time and you want to be in and out in a gym, you can lift heavy, 2 sets, 3 sets, low volume type of exercise. But if you really want to, you know, for me personally, I recommend doing more when you're bulking, when you're actually bulking. But if your personality is in and out in the gym, 2 sets, low reps, or 2 sets, moderate to low reps, then it's for you. If you enjoy it, you're gonna make more gains than, trying to force yourself into training that doesn't work for you or that you don't really like. For me, I like training 3 to 4 sets. I only train 2 sets when I am in a sense, what is the word? In a hurry, or when I don't get to eat enough food or to bulk. So like a maintenance, excuse me, for like the bulk, or I didn't get to bulk that day. The pros of that is you can progress with low reps, in a sense, low sets, low volume, low high intensity sets. So that's that. If you want to lift, if you're the type of guy to in and out, 1 hour or like 1 hour and 30 minutes type of workout is the thing you want, you probably will be a benefit from low volume, high intensity, super heavy sets. For me, I want to go heavy and I want to do more. That's just my personality. And sometimes I just like to switch things around. So there's that. In the end of the day, you don't have to overthink about it. Do the things that need to be done, and if you are reassess, go back to the drawing board, see what you're not doing correctly, and try try different methods. If this doesn't work for you, try another one. If you're really serious about it, you don't need to worry, because and then you're putting intention and effort, and you're in here for a like lifetime you're in this lifestyle for a lifetime. Like, you won't quit lifting and you won't need to worry. You have the time. While you do have the time, I warn you not to be, to not lose the sense of urgency, because that's still important. While you do have a lot of time, you gotta use it wisely. So, segue. Click the link in my about info in my YouTube channel or in the description for my paid product bulking course program to learn more about bulking in general. We're gonna talk about bulking in the community page, and I'm gonna reply to some of your personal struggles regarding bulks, aside from of course, the main focus of that community is the horse, which came from my experience from lifting from my early teenage years, from 15 years old to now at 18. So if you're interested in, trust me, click the link in my bio. See you. Have a good day.